Welcome back to some more Umineko when they cry. So where we last left off, the shonen battle shenanigans continue more. Oh god. I feel like both sides are kind of goofy in a way. And then we come to the one part where oh Kraus. I did not know Kraus was into boxing. Now that's new. It was Kraus versus the freaking giant goat thing, and then it got goofy on within Vergilia's in a way in which, like, man, so much red flags. Oh god, I have no words. Something tells me everything just made it of a parody by itself. Anyway, what was I gonna do? All right, let's continue. After that, there was nothing to block their way. They ran intently through the underground passage. Okay. Jessica had finally been cornered, with the wall at her back. Ronove advanced with his magic circle wall bit by bit, and would probably crush her against the other wall eventually. Considering the distance, she threw out her fists. This would be her final strike. Jessica had dealt out many punches so far. The wall wasn't invincible. It had already started to crack, and it wouldn't be strange for it to smash at any moment. However, due to the rebounding damage, Jessica also had cuts all over her body and was all worn out.
もうおよしなさい。あなたを押しつぶすつもりはありません。
I mean, you're not crushing her, but she is crushing herself.
あなたの処遇は親方様が決めますからね。しかし、ジェシカ様のナイスファイトは私からも特に申し上げるつもりですよ。
Nice fight.
ふざけるんじゃねえぜ。まだだ。まだ終わっちゃいねえぜ。
It's like as soon as she went into combat, it's like she forgot that she completely forgot about the asthma part.
あなたは満身創痍。立っているのもやっとではありませんか。あなたは最後の一撃に全ての力を込めるつもりでいるようだ。しかし、その最後の一撃はむしろあなたにとって命取りになりますよ。
The damage reflected by Ronove's magic circle wall was proportional to the strength of the attack. Jessica's all-out punch would be bounced back onto her. The more all-out she went, the more suicidal it would be for Jessica.
わかってるぜ。そんなことはよ。
警告します。もうおやめなさい。それがあなたのためです。
強がるなよ。お前の壁がもう破れかかってるんだろ。殴ってきた私には手応えで分かってるんだぜ。
That was a fact. Wait, what's a fact? Ronove's wall was already on the verge of breaking, and on top of that, Jessica's fists had been imbued with an unimaginable magical attack power by now, and their destructive strength defied the imagination. The imagination. In the worst case, that destructive power might even pierce the defensive wall, smash Ronove as well, and create an expansion connecting this room to the next. However, that damage would rebound on Jessica as well. she wouldn't escape unharmed.
もう一度だけ言います。おやめなさい。あなたのためを思って言っています。
I say this out of consideration for you. You know, for a demon, I'm a bit impressed that you're saying this out of consideration.
やかましいぜ。覚悟しやがれ。
Damn. Ain't this something? Jessica howled, putting all the strength of her greatest and final destructive power into her fist. She roared. The three goats had been beaten down long ago. Without straining to breathe in the slightest, George cautiously closed the distance between him and Gap. He was after her. He was planning on bringing her down with a single strike. Gap was also aiming for a single strike. If she let that chance slide, she would be killed this time.
落とし穴は使わないのかい？
Even the tiny opening during the time it took to open the hole would prove fatal with George as an opponent right now. Gap cautiously calculated the distance and timing, but even as she did, George closed the gap between them.
来ないなら行くよ。
来なさいよ。今さら小細工も何もないわ。私のこの蹴りで決着をつけてやる。
For an instant, she thought George's body blurred, and then only his jacket was floating in the air. The moment she thought, darkness covered Gap, George, with his heels swung up high, was attacking from the sky like a massive dragon.
かかったわね。これで私の勝ちよ。後ろ宮ジョージ。
何？
Gap opened a vast pitfall with her in the center, swallowing up George along with herself. The two were swallowed up by the pitfall and spat out from the ceiling of the arbor. But that was what Gap had been after, so she alone landed lightly. However, there was another pitfall in George's landing spot. Is this one of your cheap loop tricks that you've been doing? Like, what the hell?
もらったわ。後ろ宮ジョージ。面白かったわよ。死になさい。あんたみたいな上等。後ろ宮家の当主なんてもったいないわ。今この場で私が食ってあげる。
George once again fell from the ceiling of the arbor. He had probably been dropped the same distance as falling off the roof of a two-story building. In the sky, he couldn't control his posture in any way. It was impossible to resist, or defend, or avoid. As Gap spun like a whirlwind, she concentrated all of her energy on the sharp tip of her stiletto heel. This was the final strike, to perform his requiem. The final strike of the queen bee that would bore into heaven, knocking him down into the true abyss.
ようこそ奈落へ。ここがあんたの終着点よ。
She closed in on her prey and stuck her foot up into the sky. At that time, she saw George's face. Even though he was in midair, he was calmly adjusting his glasses with the middle finger of his right hand. And his posture was still preserved as that of an axe kick. Without the faintest deviation, he aimed for Gap's forehead.
君がその手に出ることは想定済みだったよ。
Wait, what? Weird. I thought you were distracted in the middle of your endless fall. Just like, what?
僕が地上の君に飛びかかとを食らわせるために飛んでいたなら、僕の姿勢はとっくに崩れていただろうさ。しかし僕の姿勢はいささかも崩れない。なぜかわかるかい？
そっか。
僕は初めから数フロア下の君にかかとを食らわせるつもりで飛んでいる。
Yep. It's Jover.
君の負けだ、お嬢さん。
ピンポン。
Bang bong. The fuck is up with her face? Jessica's last and strongest upward punch reached the wall and was sucked in. It was sucked into a black, large hole that had suddenly opened on the wall.
だからおやめなさいと忠告したのに。
It's like Ronolve is like, well, that is on you for doing that decision. Uh-oh. Well, what the fuck happened there? It seems now both.
実は全然ピンチでもなんでもなかったの。ごめんなさいね。
Get gopped with that bragging look on their face. Jessica's fist had gone for George's stomach, and George's axe kick had lined up on Jessica's head. The shocking, destructive power imbued in Jessica's fist crushed George's organs and scattered his abdomen. Oh god. The same destructive power in George's axe kick smashed half of Jessica's head and scattered its contents in the same manner.
だって魔女は演技力なんでしょ。ねえねえリーチェ、どうよ、見ててくれたかしら。
Oh damn. Look, that gap out here just going up to Beatrice, say, hey, did I do it? Are you proud of me now?
やるな、筋書き通り。やっぱガープは分かってるじゃん。イエーイ。
Wow. Yay! Beato and Gap casually high-fived each other. He couldn't... This is so unfathomable to him.
ありがとうロノウェイ。こっちで美味しくいただけた。ジェシカの死体はそっちに返すわ。二人で寄り添う死体を引き離す。これで第二の晩は出来上がり。
Gap dropped Jessica's corpse through a pitfall, and all the chunks were thrown into Jessica's room, as carelessly as throwing something into the trash. Jessica's corpse and lumps of flesh fell from the ceiling and poured out all over her room. Ronove shook his head slightly at this gruesome change of scenery.
申し訳ございませんね、ジェシカ様。ご忠告は申し上げたのですよ。
Oh god. Is this what happens when you get carried away during a fight?
もっともこの結末を予見し聞き入れないと分かっている忠告を重ねる悪魔の醍醐味は人間には分からないでしょうがね。
How classy of you.
本当に面白かったわ、坊や。でもあんたちょっと言葉遊びが過ぎるわよ。そろそろ反撃してもいいかなが最高傑作。あなたどこかのラノベか何かにかぶれすぎよ。
From a light novel? Oh god. This really feels like a parody of itself. Are you trying to be someone from like, see, well, Gap, considering that she's one of the 72 great demons, the 27th that is. Hold on. Yeah. It seems because she's one of the 72 great demons, of course she knew how light novels work and how goofy it is. In the arbor brutally decorated by George's and Jessica's scattered blood and guts, Gap enjoyed a loud laugh for a while, but she quickly realized that, in all seriousness, this was a little too filthy and undignified, and she snapped her fingers. As she did, a cloud of gold butterflies rose up around her, stuck to each of the bits and bloodstains, and dropped them. Then George's corpse returned bit by bit, and the brutal corpse with his guts torn out was repaired into a clean corpse that looked like it was sleeping. Was this some act of sportsmanship towards a dead rival? The heavens were split, because Gap had lifted her leg high, pointing at the sky.
じゃあね、色男。これが本当のゲームオーバー。
Game over. Splat. Without a trace of mercy, that foot stepped down and was buried into George's forehead. The stiletto heel that was as sharp as a weapon pierced George's forehead. With the blue, it was pulled out. It was like a mark proving that Gap certainly had finished him by her own hand. Ronove also returned Jessica's corpse to its original form, and unlike how it had been with George, he restored Jessica's life.
これは一体夢
A dream.
いいえ、違います。ジェシカ様は確かにお亡くなりになりました。最後の瞬間の記憶をよくご存知のはずだ。
Jessica's mind was burning. For some reason, she remembered being thrown somewhere and having George's heel smash her head.
私は生きてるのか。
I don't know about alive.
いいえ、死んでいます。私の魔法でほんの3分ほどそれを先送りにしているに過ぎません。3分が過ぎれば魔法が終わり、あなたは無残な頭部半壊の死体に戻ります。
だと
Yes, you got brought back to life with a certain time limit in a way.
死は残酷です。多くの場合、心の整理さえ与えない。しかし私はここまで検討したあなたをたたえ、その時間を与えることにしました。その3分間でこの世の未練をよく整理されるといいでしょう。
その3分でお前を道連れにするという手もあるぜ。
I don't know how you can do that with the 3 minutes. 3 minutes seems so little time, but the power that had burned through Jessica's body until a second ago had been completely lost. Jessica was aware of that herself. She was already dead.
それでは私はこれにて失礼いたします。楽しかったですよ、ジェシカ様。
Ronove turned his form into a cloud of gold butterflies and disappeared. All that remained was the sound of the wind and rain, and the figure of Jessica as she crouched down, leaning against the wall. Jessica could tell. Jessica could tell she probably really would revert to the corpse she had been after 3 minutes. Was there anything she could do in those 3 minutes? She stood up, and with a shaky gait, took the phone that was on the desk.
もしもし、ジェシカか。ジェシカ、どうした？無事か？
やられしまったぜ。
大丈夫か？怪我をしてるのか？今助けに行く。
いや、もう遅いぜ。私さ、もう死んでるんだと。バトラーが来た時には私は頭を半分ぶちまけた死体だよ。
くそじじいめ。待てろ、今そこに行くからな。
聞けよバトラー。いいか、よく聞け。幸田さんたちがどうして食堂で6人が殺された時のこと、歯切れが悪いのかよく分かった。あいつらな、人間じゃねえんだぜ。
あ？何を言ってんだ。
見ちまったんだ、仕方ねえだろ。あいつらさ、ワープしたりバリア張ったりやりたい放題だぜ。どこの漫画だよ、アニメだよ。いや、マジでかなわねえぜ。
Considering that this is set in the 80s, right, I'm amazed that, It feels like we're talking in the present. With all this anime manga references.
最初からさ、戦うとか無理なんだよ。バトラが自慢してた棒仕掛けの槍程度でとてもどうにかなる相手じゃねえぜ。
A line of blood dripped down from Jessica's forehead.
ジョージ兄さんもダメだった。ありゃ即死だ。次のテストはバトラだな。お前のテストも私たちと同じになるのかな。用心しろよ。そして間違えるな。
テストか？
You mean about the test?
違う。敵はどうせ人間だと間違えるなよ。敵は人間じゃない。恐ろしい魔法を自在に扱える悪魔なんだ。そこを絶対に間違えるんじゃねえぜ。用心しろよ。
A line of blood dripped down from Jessica's mouth as well. The left half of her head started hurting. Jessica realized that she was about to return to the corpse she had been.
13人死ねば黄金の魔女が蘇る。母さんたちが殺されて6人。これで第1の番。そして私とジョージ兄さんが死んで第2の番。あと5人殺されれば儀式は完成で魔女が蘇るってわけだ。父さんたち無事だといいな。もし無事じゃなかったらお前をテストするのは復活したてのベアトリーチェ自身ってことになるかもしれねえぜ。
Why does it sound like a bit of foreshadowing here? Badler already didn't understand what Jessica was saying, but from her tone, he realized that she knew she was about to die. So even though he didn't understand the situation, he urged her to give it her all.
私はもう死んでるんだって。じゃあな。もう時間みたいだ。テスト頑張れよ。お前が当主になれるといいな。
Yep, and she's dead. Just like
Jessica!
just like that. The time was up.
ジェシカ！おい、返事をしろ！ジェシカ！
Badler's sorrowful voice could be heard from the dangling receiver. As she leaned against the wall in that corner, crouched down, Jessica's head had been half smashed.
ここは
これは井戸なのか。
Hey, you're finally outside.
ここはどこなんだ。
Kyrie stuck her face out of the well, and then Kraus showed himself too. When he realized that they could see the back of the mansion from beyond a grove of trees, Kraus knew more or less where they were. To think that here, in a certain well, there had been a hidden underground passage, which led to a hidden mansion.
老体にはやはりこれは辛いですな。普段は別の場所からちゃんと階段で上がれるのです。鍵さえ開けば。
Yeah, seems y'all took the hard way.
南條先生には後でいろいろとここの構造についてお教え願いたいものだ。
Nanjo, I thought you would have like a map by now, but oh well, you say so.
シャノン、大丈夫かね。捕まりたまえ。
大丈夫です。カノン君、早く。
Canon climbed up a ladder out of the shaft that was disguised as a well. It was probably quite deep. When he looked down for the first time, he realized how far he'd come up.
西射撃。
Uh-oh. Bang. As Canon was about to finally crawl out of the well, a hole the size of a basketball opened up in his chest. Everyone there looked through the hole in Canon's chest to the scenery beyond. Canon slumped backwards and was swallowed up into the depths of the well.
みんな逃げて。シスト姉妹。捕捉されてます。回避できない。走って。一人でも生き残って。
I'm not sure if running away would solve the issue. They got yep. At that time, Kraus and Kyrie and Nanjo certainly saw a golden curved line appear from the well, and sow itself through the side of Shannon's head.
Shannon!
Her head had been pierced. The three had witnessed it perfectly until it had shot out the opposite side, blowing it away. Shannon fell to her knees, blood gushing from both sides of her head, and flopped to the ground.
私たちは狙われてる。走って。殺されるわよ。
走れ走れ走れ走れ
As Nanjo doubled over in shock, stunned by how Shannon had died, the Chiesta sisters did not allow him to escape. The line again appeared from the well, and pierced from Nanjo's forehead to the back of his head in an instant, sewing through him. And so, Nanjo passed away.
何なんだどうしてなんだ敵はどこから
狙撃されてるのよ。どこか知らないけど私たちを完全に捉えてる。屋敷へ逃げ込むのよ。視界を遮るのよ。
The two dashed towards the back door of the mansion. Then, right as Kraus was about to shut the door behind him, a golden curved line appeared for the fourth time, piercing Kraus from the back of his head to his forehead and smashing that forehead. Kraus's body leaned over, fell down, and drew a neat radial pattern with the insides of his head. Kyrie ran wildly through the hallway, flew into some room, and locked the door. But even so, she wasn't even remotely convinced that this had saved her life. She would probably die soon. This was apparently one of the guest rooms. At that moment, Kyrie's eyes fell on the phone on the side table. After hanging up the call from Jessica, Batter, Batter? You mean Battler? Batter had been about to dash out. In that instant, the phone rang again.
もしもし
The phone rang again. Yep.
キリエさん
はい、バトラ君。ラッキーだったわ。なんとか力を脱出できたの。本当についてた。
そこはどこだみんな無事なのかよこっちはジェシカとジョージの兄貴がどうやら
聞いて私の命は多分もう長くは持たないわ。
At that time, right after she thought the keyhole of the locked door might have glowed gold, a gold curved line, drawing a helix. No, a golden sewing thread penetrated in from there at an incredible speed and bored a hole into the floor by Kyrie's feet. Oh, that's unusual. The enemy, who sniped the other four one after another with extraordinary skill, apparently really does have trouble shooting me between the eyes with a single shot while I'm holed up in this room. But the next strike will probably hit. At this point, Kyrie finally remembered the first massive killing in the dining hall. That's right. This is what killed Rudolph and the rest. All 6 of them.
聞いてバトラ君。私が見たことをありのまま話す。バトラ君はきっと私の頭がどうにかなってしまったんだろうと思うに違いない。ええ、思ってくれていいわ。私だって何を見たのか未だに整理がつかない。今日バトラ君たちがゲストハウスに帰ってから食堂で親族会議が始まって、そして何が起こったかを全て話すわ。口を挟まないで最後まで聞いて。途中で急に電話が切れるかもしれない。そしたらその時は私が殺された時よ。
キリエさん。
Then Kyrie spoke about Kinzo appearing and the family conference starting, about the 6 being killed and the 5 of them being confined, about how she had escaped somehow and ran away to where she was now, and how everyone had finally been killed. It was all spoken dispassionately, with no dramatization, just as she'd seen it. She even spoke about how everyone except her had been killed, and how she had observed the moments of all of their deaths, and how, even now, someone was trying to kill her.
実はこの話をしている間にももう3度攻撃を受けている。鍵穴からおかしな黄金の糸みたいなのが飛び込んできて、くるくる回りながら私を狙ってくるの。最初は足元、次は肩の近く、さっきのは耳をかすったわ。狙いがだんだん正確になってくる。そろそろ私の眉間にズドンと来そうね。
逃げろキリエさん逃げてくれ
She's already trapped in her room. There is no means of escape.
どこへよ。私ここまで逃げ延びてきて部屋に閉じこもって鍵までかけてるのよ。
Exactly.
それでもなお狙われてる私がどこに隠れるのよ。
ね
Pretty much.
さあ、
え、ねえ、バトラ君。ジェシカちゃんとジョージ君、まだ生きてる？
Oh boy.
さっきジェシカから電話が。なんかダメみたいだった。
やっぱり私たち5人が次々殺される時、何か予感していたの？ひょっとして13人殺しの儀式は第2の番を終えて私たちの番にまで至ったのかなって。つまり私が死ねば13人。これで儀式は完成。黄金の魔女ベアトリーチェが復活する。一体どういうことになるのかしら。こんな悪魔だらけの魔女だらけ、ヤギの化け物がうじゃうじゃいるこの島に、さらにそいつらの親玉である黄金の魔女まで現れて、一体どうなっちゃうというのかしら。もう私には何が何だかわからない。
Kiri-san's voice had completely given up on her whole own life because Badler understood that he couldn't stop the
一
tears.
つだけ助言できることがあったわ。
何？
もしあなたの前に悪魔やら魔女が現れても、
ああ、
その正体を疑う必要は何もないわ。そういうものだと理解して。何か仕掛けがあるはずだとか、正体があるはずだとか、そんなことを考える余裕があったら、相手の機嫌を損ねないことを考えた方がよっぽどに建設的。間違ってもなら魔法を見せてみろなんて言っちゃダメよ。その証拠を彼らはこの上なく残酷な方法で見せるでしょうから。
In that case, try showing me You must not say in that case, try showing me magic, because to prove that, they'll probably use an even crueler way than before to show you. True.
信じらんねえよ。
Yeah, because a witch would gaslight you into believing, to the point that you will believe in this kind of stuff, right? I guess.
キネさんの口からそんなこと言われるなんて信じらんねえよ。
分かってる。信じられないのは。だからそれこそが私にできる助言。信じて。
Believe.
ペアとリーチェと悪魔と魔女と化け物どもを信じろと。
You telling me to believe in this fantasy nonsense?
私たちは多分あれほどまでにこの世ならざるものをありありと見せつけられても、多分何も信じることができなかったと思うの。今の私もそう。さっきから襲ってきて私の額を撃ち抜こうとする者の正体さえ私には理解できず、信じられない。
I don't even know. I couldn't understand that either.
だからあなただけは信じ理解して、私たちに受け止めきれなかった存在を受け止めてほしいの。そうしてくれたなら私たちの死は無駄にならない。 私もこうして電話をした甲斐があったというものだわ。
キリエさん。
まだ大丈夫よ。かすったけどまた外したわ。さすがに今度はもうダメかもね。ありがとう。そしてさよならバトラ君。あなたのことアスムさんの息子だからと冷たくしたこともあったの。
Kyrie treated him coldly sometimes because he was Asumu-san's son.
その日のことを許して。
Yeah, you know yeah, do you see that sentence? She treated Balor coldly because you were Asumu-san, the biological. Yeah, Asumu is Balor's biological mother, like real mother. So I don't know. Remember I keep saying I don't know how many parts I had said where like I said Kyrie is a little bit suspicious, but this is like kind of an example right there with that sentence. So you kind of wonder like whether Kyrie is like put in like good faith or not. Because like I said, like you know how in episode 3 she was like, she's like grown with like a never-ending envy or some shit like that. But it looks like Kyrie is like hiding it, so you can tell like it's hard to really take this seriously, you know.
許すも何も、今はキリエさんが俺にとっての母親だろうが。
Well, I felt as though I had heard an incredible sound at the other end of the receiver. Then a noisy clacking sound, as though the receiver had fallen to the floor.
キリエさん。
Well, rip.
キリエさん。
Kiri-san never answered through the phone again. Oh, hey, Maria's still here. Where are we at? Chapter 17, Cause of the Tragedy.
わかるだろ。みんな殺されたんだぞ。あのクソジジイに。ベアトリーチェ復活の儀式とかわけのわかんないことを言った。
ならこれで13人が生贄に捧げられて、もうベアトリーチェは蘇った頃だよ。
Well, no shit.
ああ、なら上等だ。ベアトリーチェもまとめて一緒にぶち殺してやろう。
マリアたちは儀式を生き残った。だからベアトリーチェに黄金鏡に招待してもらえるんだよ。そこでは願いは何でも叶う。家族を殺されたのが辛いなら生き返らせてもらえばいいのに。マリアはそうするつもりだよ。黒い魔女に取りつかれていない本当に優しい本当のママを蘇らせてもらうの。
I don't know about possessed by a witch, by the fucking devil.
だからママはもうずっとマリアと一緒。
Oh god.
お仕事とかで残業も休日出勤も何もないの。ずっとマリアと一緒にいてくれて、マリアのことだけを考えてくれて。マ リアのために恐ろしい敵といつも戦ってくれるの。
There won't be any more overtime work. Okay, so here's the thing though, right? I remember I said this with an IRL friend of mine that had played the. Actually, no, he fucking speed read it more. Like he already went ahead of episode 4. But fuck me, I hope he doesn't spoil it, because I only just read it whenever like for like read through content, but that's the thing though. Rosa is under the fucking rich family of the sort. You think Rosa would afford some sort of backup plan, right? Do you not have like a fucking like a babysitter or a nanny service to keep an eye on Maria? Oh my god. I don't want to. I feel like I want to. That rant could be like saved for like a character tier list or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, of course he wouldn't make that laugh.
お前どうかしてるぜ。なんでこの状況でそんなわけわかんねえことを言ってられるんだ。
I mean, Maria could probably be a special needs kid, but
バトラは今キリエおばさんに言われたはずだよ。魔女を信じろと言われたはずなのに。
but what if he doesn't want to?
くそ。
He's like, fuck.
こんなとこでマリアと口喧嘩してる場合じゃねえぜ。もう人質も何も誰も生き残っちゃいねえんだ。もうクソくだらねえ。おかしな儀式もゲームもおしまいだぜ。ここからは俺の好きにさせてもらう。まだ生きてる奴がいるかもしれない。
Excuse me.
あるいは隠れてる奴がいるかもしれない。片っ端から調べて見つけ出しぶちのめしてやるぜ。
In a rage, Badler grabbed his hat stand spear and flew out of the room. Maria watched him go, looking bored.
ベアトリーチェがすぐに願いを叶えてくれるのに。バトラはバカ。
And then Maria's just gonna sit there. At that time, the phone rang out again. Maria stood up and grabbed the receiver.
おう。もしもし。ほう。
The fact that she code switched. Of course, the sound of the phone also reached Badler's ears as he was about to dash out of the house. With a violent forcefulness, he turned around and dashed into the cousin's room.
マリア電話って誰からだ。
Gee, I wonder who called the phone. With a terrifying look on his face, Badler yelled at Maria, who was on the phone. You couldn't blame him. Right now, the only humans left alive on the island were himself, Maria, Goda, and Kumasawa. But there was no way those two could call after being locked up in the gardening storehouse. Yeah, there's no, like, phone service. There's no phone line in the garden storehouse from what I saw in the background. Which meant there was only one person left. It had to be Kinzo. After continuing her pleasant chat with the person on the other end of the phone for a while, Maria slowly turned to face Badler. Then, with an unsettling expression on her face, she laughed. It felt almost as though the person on the other end of the line was chatting about Badler.
マリア電話の相手は誰だ。じいさまか。
Badler couldn't imagine that this was the case. After all, it was inconceivable that Maria would talk intimidatingly with Kinzo, and that she would be chatting about Badler with that eerie smile on her face. So just what kind of person could be on the phone? who could make Maria chat with a smile like that. At that time, in the back of his mind, the words Kairi had spoken to him drifted up. If a witch does appear, there's no need to doubt it. Just believe that it exists.
マトラ、今帰ってきたよ。せっかちだよね。
マリア！その電話の相手は誰だ？誰なんだ？
I mean, would it be still would it still be rude to like snatch the phone from that, or is it just
変わる？うん。はい、バトラ。
wow? Well, that was easy. After getting the consent of the person on the other end, she held the receiver out to Battler.
はい。
Maria held the receiver out for him to take, as though it was perfectly normal. Battler hesitated just a little bit before taking the receiver. After all, by accepting the existence of the person at the other end, he'd have no choice but to acknowledge them. As Kairi said, there is no longer any need to doubt that they exist. Battler took the receiver. As he did, Maria briskly left the room. Where is she going? Battler, who was a bit scared to find out for sure who was at the other end of the receiver, questioned Maria before taking the call.
おい！どこへ行くんだよ？
That's what I was gonna ask.
マリアのテストの場所だよ。後ろ宮家の当主はバトラかマリアかどっちだろうね。
Well then.
いくら！殺されるぞ！
殺されないよ。儀式はもう終わってるもの。それに殺されても蘇らせてもらえるし。当主になってもなれなくても、もう私たちは黄金鏡に招いてもらえる。じゃあね、お先に。
待てよ！マリア！
Battler stretched his hand out to Maria's back as she left, but the cord of the receiver that he was gripping stopped him, just like a chain. He readied himself. Battler put the receiver to his ear.
もしもし。
Congratulations!
What? Uh-oh.
And I'm fine!
Happy Maria. I feel like I'm hearing English lyrics. Is the cast of the witch and demon characters singing this? This is some interesting English. I can't. Well, the witch got revived, so screwed up. Mocking English filled his ears. It was the voice of a woman he didn't know. Who was it? The inside of his head was starting to freeze up. Who was it?
誰はないであろう、後宮バトラー。返事はYes, I'm fine!
Yes, I'm fine.
であろう。懐かしいな。中国でやっただろ。二人一組になってやるやつ。
This is crazy.
行かれてやがる。てめえは誰だ。答えやがれ。
英語で言えよ。お前そういうの得意だったろ。
Answer me.
ふざけんじゃねえよ。てめえは誰だ。クソジジイの手先か。
手先とはひどい言いざまではないか。むしろ虜と言ってやれ。
Prisoner.
金蔵こそわらわの虜だろう。
Kinzo is Beatrice's Kinzo's prisoner. Well, she sure is making fun of that moment there. That last laugh didn't sound like it was aimed at Balor. It was almost as though Kinzo was right next to the phone, cackling as well.
名を名乗りやがれ。てめえは誰だ。何者だ。
当ててみろよ。ハワイへご招待するぜ。
Oh, hey. Beatrice is now wearing the drip this time. This is a
やっとだ。やっと。長かったぜ。本当に今日まで長い日々だった。マジで1000年は待ったぜ。今日という日をよ。
a millennium.
おかげさまをもちまして。
That's I love it, the look on her face, especially when she would.
わらは大復活。サンキュー金蔵。
Thank you.
特別にさっきの待った。聞いてやってもいいぜ。
やれやれ、上機嫌にも程があろうが、もう少しは淑女らしく振る舞わんか。
All right. To be continued on this one. All right. Next part. Let's see what the phone conversation will turn out. And will Battler ever go head on against the few remaining enemies? Especially Kinzo. Alright. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Have a good one.